Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day, and we're going back into r/Tales of Neckbeard. And if you guys want to be absolutely amazing and supportive for the channel, be sure to like the video, and if you have not already, subscribe. Our first story comes to us from username JourneyCakes. Neckbeard tries to date me and then uses my nudes as revenge. So I mentioned on my story over at r/NiceGuy Stories that I had a Neckbeard story. I actually forgot that I had many Neckbeard stories. Also, thank you to yours truly for featuring my nice guy story on his channel. He's my favorite YouTuber and his videos are amazing, so if you like Reddit videos, go watch him because he's amazing. Honestly, when I see this kind of stuff, I don't even actively search out myself, although sometimes I do get curious to see when I do get mentioned on Reddit, and when I see this kind of stuff, it honestly makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I honestly love it when this comes up. You know, kind of like a reassurance that I'm doing the right thing. So my first actual Neckbeard story takes place when I started working at a large chain supermarket. Here's our lovely cast. Jay is myself, Aaron is Neckbeard 1, Alex is Neckbeard 2, and coworker, he's a small player in the story but will reappear in my future posts. Sunny is Neckbeard 2's boyfriend, Mitch is best friend, and coworker Karen is the terrible cashier manager, Josh misogynistic store manager. So I had joined the team of cashiers at a supermarket I had been a customer for years, since I was around 5 or 6 years old. I'm 18 but was 17 when this took place. Now, Aaron was your stereotypical neckbeard, smelt funny, neckbeard, overweight, loved anime and Funko Pops, and played a ton of video games. He probably owned a fedora, but who's to say? He was weird as heck and eventually got fired half a year after I left. I got introduced to him relatively quickly because I was friendly with everyone and I didn't like to be rude or seem rude. I've grown a bit out of that as our town is full of racists and I take no BS. At first, Aaron seemed really chill and I was super chill with him. We both talked about shows we liked and video games we played, so we seemed to have a lot in common. I admit that I think I had feelings for him when I first met him. He was a little older than me, in his early 20s, but the age of consent in my country of Canada is 16, creepy but not illegal. So soon after, the flirtation turned into more, let's say, 18 plus stuff after that, and in a fit of panic due to PTSD soon after, I cut off the arrangement. This was when the red flags popped up. I text him, "Hey man, you don't have to delete those photos of me cause I don't care, but I'm just kinda starting to realize that I don't really feel comfortable in an arrangement like this. I don't know you that well and I'd like to get to know you before we go further." Yes, I sent him nudes. I was a stupid teen a year ago and did all my partying when I was a younger teen. I realized my mistakes and I am learning from them so I don't do the same things again. "Yeah, sure, no worries. I'll delete them anyways." "Alright, thanks for respecting my feelings, man." Well, his respect went right to the hecking window because the very next day, as we were both working, he came up to me at the start of my shift in front of a customer and said this. "Hey Jay, I know what you said last night, but are we still gonna have socks?" Not only was that a red flag after our discussion the day prior, but oh my goodness, my poor customer had to hear that. Also, the humiliation, but I feel sorry for the customer more. I didn't say anything though and continued contact with him because my brain doesn't process red flags very well. A few weeks later, I was on my lunch break and he had just clocked back in from lunch, and we were talking when all of a sudden he kissed me. I kissed back because I'm not good with confrontation and just hoped he'd leave me alone after. Obviously a stupid move, I know. That obviously didn't work because he started finding me during my shift just to flirt with me, to the point where he'd harass me during my shifts and after my shifts. He also called me "milady" a few times. After this continued for a while, I went to my manager after I had tried to break away from him again and he still couldn't take the hint. My best friend Mitch actually asked to speak to the manager as I really didn't want to come forward. I didn't want him or I to get in trouble. I've been assaulted before when I was very young and the police here victim blame, so I don't have much faith in my superiors. "Would you like to be scheduled on different days from him?" "Yes, please, Karen." "Alright, we can do that. I'm so sorry this happened to you." But of course our story doesn't end happy. No. Actually, I still worked almost all of the shifts they had with him, and the harassment didn't stop. It got worse and I found out my supervisors knew nothing. They hadn't been even told anything. So I had gotten into a friends with benefits arrangement with my close friend Alex and his boyfriend Sunny. They found me attractive, I found them attractive, we knew each other well, and I knew I could trust them. Yay, all brief sunshines and rainbows. Until rumors for around that I was in a relationship with Alex. Aaron got a hold of this information rather fast, and he often covered Alex's breaks over at the electronics department. Alex told me a bit, and the exchange went something like this. So, I heard you and Jay are sleeping together. Okay, that's not any of your business? Well, I think you should see this. Aaron proceeds to show Alex all of the nudes I sent him. He hadn't deleted them. I didn't really care that he hadn't deleted them, as I told him I didn't care, but I was angry that he had lied and shown a coworker, especially while they were on shift. It made me think, would he show this to other people? People I didn't know? I went straight to my manager Karen. I honestly didn't feel safe, but when I told my manager, she was rather bargy. I honestly don't feel safe working with him. Well, you sent them. What did you expect? Also, Josh and I talked, and we both agree that it is your fault that this is happening. We talked to Aaron yesterday, and he said you were talking about his affection towards you. I had told Alex and Sunny while I was at their house, off shift, and off the workplace property. I had also told Mitch, as she was the one who originally told the managers. I explained this. Listen, I want to stop having shifts with him. Angry sigh, I guess you could try. I want my supervisors to know. Annoyed sigh, well, we aren't going to do anything because it is your fault, okay? I said okay and left, but I wish I would have just quit then and there. We ended up not talking after I went off on him for showing my nudes to other people. Dude, what the heck? I told you I was fine with you keeping my nudes, but seriously, you just went and showed Alex? I didn't show anyone. Alex told me everything. Don't lie again, man. Seriously, just tell me the truth. Okay, fine, I did. That's uncool. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Just stop talking to me. Don't talk to me at work. Stop coming to find me at work. I'm done. Please, just leave me alone. Fine, I deleted them for real now. Are you happy? I didn't respond. I quit soon after because my uncle passed and the manager got angry at me for taking time off to grieve. I found out that he harassed and even tried to touch one of the other cashiers I know, who I was a buddy of mine while I worked there. Of course, he didn't get fired for the harassment. Oh no, he got fired for walking out on Karen, who was being her normal barchy manager self. Our next story comes to us from username Exhausted T-Chef. Neckbeard decided that relationships are first come, first serve. I really try not to make this too long, but am a classic waffler, so I apologize in advance. I also don't know if this is the correct place for this. I'm a little new here, so if there's somewhere that would be more appropriate, please let me know. TLDR, a neckbeard moves into my house, harasses me and my family, and sits outside of my house for 3 days because I don't want to date him. This was a long time ago, and looking back, all the signs were there, but this was before a neckbeard was a thing I knew about, and I was young and naive, and whilst he looked slightly creepy, I decided to give this guy a chance to be a decent human being. I was at a time attempting to get out of a terrible relationship. NB was kinda useful at this point, persuading me to leave him, helping me look for a new place to live, etc. He had the odd inappropriate comment here and there, but honestly, my self-esteem was so low at this point that I was just happy to have someone who seemed to be on my side. Anyway, fast forward a couple of months and I am finally out of the terrible relationship and in my own place. NB offers to come over one day and help me unpack. Seems innocent enough since I moved out. The odd comments have been increasing quickly, but as I say, I was young and naive, so I agree and he comes over. We unpack for a bit and get my new place looking slightly more homely at this point, and he opens a bottle of wine. I'm slightly taken aback because who comes into someone else's house and decides to help themselves to wine? But we drink at this now. It means we can't drive home, so he has to stay the night. I get up early for work the next day and wake him up and tell him he can stay for a bit until he's sure he's safe to drive and then can let himself out. A little do I know his idea of a bit and mine are seriously different. I get home exhausted from work at like 11 p.m. I was a chef and it was the summer holidays in seaside town, working ridiculous shifts like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and wasn't unusual. That night, and was surprised to see him still there, but I didn't have the energy that night to kick him out, so he stayed. The next morning, I got up again and told him he had to go. He said he was fine, he would take just a few minutes to get his stuff together. Okay, sure, so I left for work. When I came home that night, guess who was still there? Yep, NB. This went on for a week until I finally managed to get him out. But that's not the end. By this time, I had started looking to date again and had actually started talking to the man who is still my partner. After the squatting incident, I was trying to distance myself from NB, but he didn't like this and was guilting me into continuing talking to him. Things got more serious with the now boyfriend, and he changes his Facebook status to in a relationship with me. This is when NB exploded. Apparently, he had dibs on me and was just being a gentleman and letting me get over my last boyfriend. I had taken advantage of his good nature and then passed him over like I owed him anything. He was constantly berating me with messages, so I just stopped replying, turned my phone off, and went to sleep, hoping he would get the hint, but of course not. I woke up to 256 missed calls and about 150 missed text messages. I blocked him on everything again, thought this would be the end of it. But no, he started messaging my family with all sorts of outlandish claims. I owed him money, I gave him an STD, I cheated on my ex, and was lying about why we broke up. Basically anything to try and get my family to talk to him, to talk to me, or dislike me. After about a month of this, I had finally convinced my whole family to block him. He now had no way of contacting me, so it had to be over, right? Wrong. He still knew where I lived and sat outside my house in his car for 4 days. I assumed he left at some point, but he was always there when I left to go/return from work. He would yell at me each time I walked past and try to grab me to get me to talk to him. Luckily, he only succeeded once, and a swift kick to the balls ended that. And once I was safely behind locked doors, he would continuously ring the doorbell. After about 20 minutes, I disconnected it, but went and looked through the peephole, and he was still pushing that button. Eventually, he gave up. I was planning on moving anyway, but about a month after that, I moved to be closer to my boyfriend and retain, so haven't seen him since, but still every few months I get a friend request from a new profile of his name, which I block each time. Again, I apologize for the length, TLDR at the top, as I don't expect anyone to actually read this, just no one knows about it apart from the people in the story, so I just wanted to put it out there. And with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you want to show your support and be amazing, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below if there's something you want to start a discussion about, and if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.